Imagine this. Faith, something meant to be pure and personal, is now one of the biggest cash machines in the world. Yeah, faith is making millions. How did we get here? Faith. For a lot of people, it's the thing that gives life meaning, something bigger than all of us. But here's the twist. It's also making a ton of cash. Yep, faith is no longer just about belief. It's about serious money. So how did we go from salvation to strategy? How did religion turn into a billion-dollar enterprise where influence is bought and sold like stocks? Well, today we're diving into the business side of faith. And trust me, it's gonna get wild. Religious organizations today? They're like giant corporations. We're not talking small, humble congregations here. We're talking about billions of dollars. In fact, the combined worth of religious establishments in the U.S. alone is estimated to be around $1.2 trillion. That's more than the GDP of some countries. Megachurches? They're practically Fortune 500 companies. Take Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church, for example. They bring in $90 million a year from donations, book sales, speaking tours, and even merch. Yep, you can buy Faith is Power t-shirts just like concert memorabilia. Faith has evolved into big business, and business is booming. But how did we get here? Throughout history, religion has always been powerful. From the medieval Catholic Church shaping politics to the Protestant Reformation, faith has had a huge influence. But today, spiritual messages are deeply intertwined with financial success. Faith has moved from being about salvation to being a strategy for wealth. Then came televangelism, and suddenly, religion went from the local church to your living room TV. Preachers weren't just reaching people in pews, they were reaching millions on their couches. Pioneers like Jim Bakker and Jerry Falwell turned faith into a huge business. They used TV to deliver sermons and, of course, ask for donations. By the 1980s, televangelism was a multi-million-dollar industry. Fast forward to today, and people like Joel Osteen and Kenneth Copeland have turned televangelism into a full-blown empire. Osteen's Lakewood Church operates out of a former NBA stadium and draws millions, not just in person, but through broadcasts and online streams. But here's where things get even more interesting. The message they preach is the prosperity gospel. Basically, it says, give to the church, and God will bless you with financial success in return. Faith as an investment? That's a pretty tempting offer, especially when people are going through tough economic times. So how do these religious empires actually make their money? Well, spoiler alert, it's way more than just passing the collection plate on Sunday. First up, donations. Churches heavily rely on tithing, a tradition where followers give a percentage of their income to support the church. But now it's easier than ever. With church apps, you can donate straight from your phone. No more waiting for Sunday morning. Then there's the merch. Megachurches are selling books, DVDs, and even branded coffee mugs. Joel Osteen, for instance, has made millions from his best-selling books. His positive message might give people hope, but it also brings in serious revenue. And let's not forget religious media empires. Networks like Trinity Broadcasting Network, TBN, are raking in money through advertising, viewer donations, and product sales. They run faith-based talk shows, movies, and sermons, all aimed at an audience that's ready to spend. Oh, and the biggest financial boost? Tax-exempt status. Religious organizations don't pay property tax, sales tax, or federal income tax. That means they're accumulating wealth with very little oversight. But it's not just about the money. religious organizations wield massive influence, politically, culturally, and globally. In the U.S., evangelical Christians are a driving force behind conservative politics. Pastors can influence elections with a single endorsement. And we've seen this with megachurch leaders supporting candidates, shaping policy on everything from education to abortion. Globally, religion still plays a huge role in shaping societies. In countries like Iran, religion is the foundation of the entire government. And in places like Latin America and Africa, the Catholic Church holds immense sway. Religious organizations also shape culture through books, movies, and music. Christian music is a billion-dollar industry, and faith-based films like God's Not Dead pull in millions at the box office. With that kind of influence, you have to wonder, what happens when religious organizations gain more power than governments or corporations? Who's really in control? And where there's money, there's scandal. The business of religion has seen its fair share of controversy. One of the biggest involved televangelist Jim Bakker. In the 1980s, he built a religious empire through his show, the PTL Club. But it all came crashing down when he was convicted of fraud and conspiracy, accused of diverting millions of dollars in donations for personal use. More recently, Hillsong Church has been rocked by allegations of financial mismanagement and covering up abuse. It's a reminder that when faith mixes with business, things can get messy. Then there are televangelists who profit by selling so-called miracles, charging outrageous prices for prayer cloths or religious trinkets. These scandals raise serious questions about accountability in the religious world. Technology is changing everything, and faith is no exception. Churches are now live streaming their services to global audiences. Some are even creating virtual reality worship experiences for people who can't make it in person. But what's next? With AI advancing, we could see personalized sermons tailored to individual worshipers. Imagine getting spiritual advice from an AI preacher, available 24/7. And as financial technology evolves, we might even see churches using cryptocurrency for donations or blockchain to track giving. It sounds futuristic, but it's closer than you think. But with all these innovations, we have to ask, can faith really survive in a world driven by business and technology? Or will religion lose sight of its spiritual mission? At the end of the day, faith was never supposed to be about profit. It was supposed to be about belief, about something greater than ourselves. But somewhere along the way, it became tangled with power, influence, and money. So now we have to ask ourselves, has faith lost its way? Can spirituality still exist in a world where it's being sold, packaged, and turned into a business? Or is this just the new reality? A world where even our deepest beliefs have a price tag? All right, that's it for today. This one really made me think, and I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Do you think faith has lost its way? Or is this just the reality we live in now? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Oh, and before you go, what kind of story should we dive into next in this wild world we live in? Let us know, and we'll see you in the next one.